afternoon. Carolyn Rustin here, professional life coach. Here today, I want to talk about probably one of the biggest issues my clients face. And I would also say probably one of the biggest issues the majority of you in my group face. And that is lacking purpose or being really fuzzy on what your purpose is right now in your life. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Last week, hopefully you enjoyed. For those of you in Ontario and Canada, we had Family Day. Hi Angie. I was very fortunate enough that I was able to get away with my family. Some of you may have seen, I did a couple of posts online. We got away to Mexico, got some sun and sand and beach, and it was fabulous. And it's one of those things, you know, if you're able, if you've got the time and the finances that you can go and escape and get away for a week or so, grab it. If that's not your situation right now, hi Sarah, I would strongly encourage you to create some kind of break for you. Hi Mary Lou. Whether that's just a staycation at home, whether that's just, you know, blocking out 2 days like next weekend where you just shut down and do nothing but look after yourself. Taking that break is huge. So we were gone from last Thursday to Wednesday, and it was fantastic. I actually read two books that were just fun books. It was great. Hi, Lynette. Anyway, so back to what I want to talk to you about today. Purpose. So many of us were raised in the mindset of, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do with your life? And we were raised with that idea of, you have one purpose. What's the one thing you're going to be? And we can really see how our world has changed. And on many areas, like our parents, I don't know about your parents, but my parents were such that they had one job. That was their career for their life. They didn't pivot or change. Now, I would say that is the unusual route to follow, where you just are one thing all your life in your career. People are pivoting and changing all the time now. Hi Laura, hi Ona. So kind of getting out of that mindset of, okay, well, as I transition to different times in my life, my purpose is going to change. And that's where we get stuck. So, you know, once you've made it to like 40s plus, you've probably been in a serious relationship, possibly a marriage. Maybe you've raised children and now they're older and they don't need you as much. Hi, Anna. So some of those purposes that you fulfilled before aren't there anymore. They're not necessary anymore. So looking after kids, they don't need you anymore, or at least not to the extent. And so that's when women, and especially if you were either a stay-at-home mom or you put your career kind of on the back burner, now it's like, now what? It's like you've lost your footing and just lacking that purpose. What now? And that's okay. That's okay. And that's what's so important. And I talk to my clients about, like, don't worry, it's okay. But instead of just kind of coasting and thinking this is life, no, let's figure out, what is your new purpose? What is your new purpose now? Because it evolves as we do. Hi, Barb. And, you know, it's important to really listen. Sometimes we get so busy in life and get overwhelmed with things that we don't listen to the little clues that are out there, the little hints that whatever your belief system is, God, the universe, whomever, they send you clues. Sometimes they're really loud if you don't listen. That's what happened to me. So I don't know how many of you know of my background. I've not been a coach all my life. When I graduated high school and I applied to university, I thought deep down, my little voice was saying, you want to help people. I also grew up in a family of educators, so I didn't know what helping people would really look like. So I thought, well, I could also get into teaching. So at the time when I graduated high school, I applied to 3 universities. 2 of them were for education and 1 was for social work. And ironically, the social work one I didn't get into. The 2 education ones I did. So I took that as a sign. Whether or not that was right or not, I don't know. Anyway, I got into education and, I enjoyed parts of it, but it really wasn't what I was looking for. I became a vice principal. I was bored and I got trapped in it. I got trapped in good career, great income, worked with my family, all those things. And so I kept going back. And, after having kids, I'd go back, even though I wasn't happy. My clue that I wasn't listening to was finally when I had my third concussion, and it forced me out. So don't wait till it's that loud. We get little clues that we don't listen to. So thinking about, what are some of the things that fire you up? What things do you get excited about? And I know so many times when I talk to clients, they're like, I don't know. But it's about stopping and taking that time to really listen. What do you get excited about? And just refining, what is your purpose? Sometimes when hurdles come in our way, it's not so much about being obstacles, but opportunities. And thinking, okay, so what can I do that's a little different? And experimenting, trying different things. And especially if you can experiment, if you can financially go and try things without having to worry about the income that you're making. If that's your situation, then it's a great opportunity. If it's not, as you're working and it may not be what you love, what you're doing, thinking about, okay, well, what can my purpose be outside of that? Because again, I get a lot of clients that come to me who say to me, Carolyn, I hate my job. I'm not happy with my job at all. And it's funny because as we work together and we go through all these different phases, all of a sudden, by the end, I'll say, so how are you feeling about your job? Oh, it's great. It's fine. No problem. Because the reality was they weren't happy either at home or with themselves, and they were lacking their true purpose. And so the issue wasn't about the job. The issue was they weren't happy. Internally, they were not happy. Whether it was just them, whether it was the relationship at home and home life and all that. And so often once you get that working and online, then the other, it's okay. It's not as big a deal. So I'm just looking down. I have a few notes jotted down here. Just so you know, what I've started doing over the last few weeks is the notes I have jotted down about what I'm talking about in my Facebook Live is then the email that I send out in my blast on Thursday mornings with some more details and more strategies. So talking about too, as far as if you're not sure of your purpose and what you need to do, thinking about service. How can you help others? Because one of the best ways when you're feeling down, blah, unmotivated, having a pity party, any of that stuff, hi Lisa, one of the best things to do is to volunteer and to go help somebody else. So jumping back to my situation, when I suffered my third concussion, and it was pretty major, I was in pain 24/7, and this went on for 7 years. It was not pretty. Partway through, I was thinking, okay, what can I do? I need to do something. And I started volunteering, and it was just with one person. It was one elderly woman who was suffering with MS, couldn't get out of her house. Once a week, I would go and I'd play cards with her. And it was fantastic. I didn't have to worry about my concussion symptoms because I wasn't being overwhelmed. It was just one person in her home. But the difference and the impact it made, not just for her, but for me. All of a sudden, I felt significant. I felt important to her because I knew she depended on me coming every week, and it lit her up. So one of the main things when we're lacking purpose, it means we are not feeling significant. Significance is one of the 6 basic human needs. Again, something else that I work through with my clients on. And if you are not fulfilling that in a positive way, you will fill it in a negative way. So for example, sometimes if you're lacking significance, your focus will be on problems. So when you have all these problems, all these huge, unsurmountable problems, it makes you feel significant because people are going to look at you and think, oh my goodness, how are you managing? How can you deal with all that? And that gives you a feeling of significance, not in a good way, but you will fulfill it. that bucket of significance. So if you now have a purpose, if you now have a way that you can feel important and worthy and you're making a difference, you won't need the other negative stuff. So I want you to ask yourself right now, do you feel significant in your life? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if that's you. Do you feel important? Do you feel that you make a difference? Because if you're not, that's where you're probably lacking your purpose. And thinking about, okay, how can you make that difference? Hi, Abby. Building a community around you, being with other like-minded people who can inspire you. So again, as I often say, are you hanging out with people that inspire you and energize you? Or are you hanging out with people who drain you? Hi, Catherine. So think about that. Like, who are you with? And get with people who motivate you. Get with people who inspire you. And just know that this is an ongoing journey, finding your purpose. It's not like, okay, I found my purpose and I'm good now for the rest of my life. It will change. It will evolve. You will pivot. And that's okay. And recognizing that and not just getting stuck. So I can only imagine if I had stayed put and I had stayed as a teacher, or even as I evolved into a vice principal and I'm sure into a principal, whatever, if I had stayed on that journey where I wasn't happy, where I was not fulfilling my purpose, I can't imagine what my mindset would be right now. So now I'm 53 and I look at some of my friends who are in education and are principals and they're about to retire, and I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, if I had stayed in that journey, I know I wouldn't have been happy. I would have been tired, burnt out, miserable. Like, I can only imagine. Not that I'm saying they are, but that's how I would be. And so I am so grateful that I was literally forced out of, whether, again, God, universe, whoever you believe in, stepped in and forced me to make that change, to make that pivot. And so even though that was 7 years of just torture, of the pain and nausea and dizziness, and it was horrible, I'm so grateful that that happened. And I know that sounds bizarre, but so grateful because it forced me into this new life where I love what I do. I love my purpose and I feel my purpose every day. And again, I'm also aware this may change and pivot for me too, and that's okay. So I hope that's been helpful. If you are still thinking, I'm stuck, Carolyn, I don't know how to do this, let's hop on a free call, okay? A free 15-minute call. We can chat about where you're at, if working together is even something remotely possible for you, whether this is something that would work, see if we click. I may just give you a couple strategies to try too. So if you're not sure, just comment below this live and just say me, and I can reach out. We can set up a free one-on-one call, no problem. If you're watching this on the replay, please type replay. So I know it's always kind of neat to see those. And those of you who jumped on later, I do keep these in my group. So you can watch this from the beginning, or you can scroll down in the group and you can see all the lives. For like the last year or two, I've been doing lives. Anyway, hopefully this has helped. Give me a thumbs up if this has been helpful for you. And again, if you want to see the talking points, like what I went through, all the points I discussed, that comes out in the email blast Thursday morning. If you don't get my email blast, either A, I don't have your email, or B, it might be going into your junk. So you might want to take a look. Anyway, have a fabulous day. Take care.